A back and forth between the government and one of the most well-known universities. Harvard is now suing the Trump administration. The announcement follows a funding freeze of more than $2 billion by the federal government. So we have some questions about this. We're bringing in our legal analyst, Whiney Traylor, for that. Let's kind of bring everybody up to speed about what happened here. Tell us the background and how this resulted in a lawsuit.
Right. So this really started, I think, with the Trump administration picking on a number of colleges, Northwestern, Columbia, Harvard, related to the pro-Palestinian protests and feeling like these schools weren't doing enough. And so he actually sent this list of demands to Harvard and said he wanted them to report foreign students for code violations, reform its governance, discontinue its DEI programs, and ban the use of masks, among other things. Harvard said no, and as a result, then he froze this $2.3 billion with the threat that there could be up to $9 billion over the next several years. And so there was a lawsuit last week by a group of faculty saying this is a First Amendment violation. And then this week, the president of Harvard and the trustees have now initiated their lawsuit against the administration trying to stop it.
So I have a question about the First Amendment aspect of this, but let's start with other universities buckled.
Yes.
They just rolled over, and Harvard said, we're not going to do that.
Right. That's exactly right. And Harvard said, you can't really, this is a First Amendment thing. This is we're resisting this government intervention, and it's about academic freedom, because the government was really saying, hey, we don't like the speech that you're allowing, and they're trying to tell this private institution what to do. And Harvard's saying, no, that's government overreach.
So that's the First Amendment component of this, is the idea that this is being brought about, these funds are being frozen and theoretically stopped because of what was being said, and that's the First Amendment issue.
That's exactly right. And the way they phrased it in the complaint, they said, nor may the government rely on the threat of invoking legal sanctions and other means of coercion to achieve the suppression of disfavored speech. So they're saying, look, you can't use these threats against us, withholding money, sanctioning us because you don't like what we're saying. And here, and Harvard's taking the position, look, we're not even going out promoting some sort of anti-Semitism. We've done a lot of things to protect our Jewish students and our Jewish faculty, but the administration's saying, couching this in terms of you're not protecting the Jewish students, which I think is actually not that's an ulterior motive.
So this goes to federal court right now.
Yes,
and
in Boston.
Then probably this is going to last for a while.
Yes, either whoever loses, they're definitely going to appeal this. Now, whether the Supreme Court will accept it or not, I don't know. But I think it's going to be relevant, as we were talking about in the break, because this administration is consolidating so much power in the executive branch. So now you're seeing all these lawsuits to decide how much pressure the executive branch can actually exert. And I think they've completely surpassed their power. We're not dealing with co-equal branches of government right now.
Yeah, we just talked about the suit today that Colorado is a part of, these 12 states suing about tariffs.
Yeah.
So this case, would it be the icebreaker? Would it be the first case moving forward as far as defending or accepting that consolidation of power?
This wouldn't be the first case because, to the Trump administration's credit, they've sort of expanded its power through these various agencies. So, for example, the Department of Corrections, having them do ICE enforcement, right? So they've expanded it that way, and taking over some of the cultural centers is another sort of expansion of that. And here, now, if the message is, you don't do what we say, we're going to find a way to make you suffer.
To punish.
Is really what's happening.
Boy, there's a lot to talk about. I wish we had more time, but we
Yeah.
will. We'll continue this conversation next time we get to see you.
I'll be back.
More things are always happening.
I know, right?
Always.
Yes.
Thanks, Whitney.
All right.